the 30th of December, 2025, 6:23 a.m. Central Time. Hiya. It dropped like, I don't know, from this time yesterday morning or something, like at least 30 degrees, all right? And started getting, there were literally 30-mile-per-hour winds, and it was trash collection. And I saw a lot of reasons why this were problematic. For one, my weather app was actually saying that it was like extreme or severe weather conditions. But it's funny because in some ways it's like, oh, you can't plan for that. Or it's like, oh, got to take, precautions. And meanwhile, I don't even know what that creaking sound is. It sounds like a rusty gate swinging back and forth, but that's not what it is. And this place literally blows in the wind. I was actually scared because it was literally like, it was a curveball. It was like almost, I was like, wow, my enemy is in Kansas on a bicycle, and period. Anyways, no, that's not what this is. I'm not going to go down memory lane right this second. Being, as present as I can. I am surprised that more people don't try to ask me for advice. Actually, I'm surprised. Let me rephrase that. I'm surprised no one ever tries to ask me for advice. Not in many, many years. Nobody asks me for advice. And I just think it's so surreal because it's not necessarily that I could do it better. It's just that I do have a lot of experiences. And so I'm not sure what that's an indication of, because when I am, visited by the I don't know what to call them. I want to coin like something cute, but it's hard to explain because the plans that would appear to have been made really, as far as I can tell, weren't really very much planned at all. It all really kind of was ironic and came together without very much effort, which is surprising because that's not what this landscape is about. It's not because people were such good planners or because they were so organized, And so when I receive, sharp words or criticism or something, it really is difficult to chalk it up to, wisdom or, being immature or something. I just think it's ugly. I just think it's genuinely like, it's hard to express like how actually deeply hurt, like how literally fucking like spot on. That is not what I want to hear. And it's like that's the extent of that's the peak, that's the apex, that's the epitome of plans, is knowing exactly where to hurt me. So congratulations. But I don't think that makes you a success. Anyways, yes, drastically having to uh, re-examine my, um, nesting and insulation and things, because for a few days over Christmas, it was like 70 degrees and now it's 30 something. So pardon me for catching a chill, but yeah, I just wanted to say that I am very sensitive to criticism, probably because I actually tell you what it is. And then with almost zero reflection or processing, you literally hand it right back to me. And it wasn't even about you, or maybe it was some, but anyways, it's like, uh, it's not because of some superpower that things are going round. Um, like I said, everyone's special when there is no common ground. And and it's probably true that there are times that I could be associated with or identified by where I couldn't say that I really wanted anything. But I do feel like I have an instinct for, and also, like reflexively, um, bring myself to certain kinds of relationships, you know. I think I was a pretty good student. And in those structures, whether it be, peer or instructor or, whatever, like kinds of things along these lines, um, I feel like people get to be present, and so, other things, it's like, oh, well, what's the issue? Well, really, there's not enough room for other people here. But, and I have lived on my own, several times now. But, and I do like it, actually. But if I were to actually have to think about like living with other people, um, it's funny because I would probably send myself to the hospital before I would want to move in with mommy or daddy. This is inadvertently just like that. But it was by proxy grandparents. And no, I don't want to live with grandparents. Like I said, I can picture myself, having a slow pace, or, that's not that difficult. At least presumably, like, it doesn't mean I'm not working on stuff, um, but as far as like a contemporary perspective or a youthful perspective goes. Um, I never really felt like I got to live with my sisters. We did live together, but I never felt like that was the right way to do things. And I did mention to them several times, and it didn't really go over very well. But and now if I were to imagine that, I have to picture us with their freaking gaggle of children. So it's very different. I'm not just asking for, some time with my sisters. I'm asking basically inadvertently to be a mother. And, if it weren't always the question, no, because sometimes they just forced it on me. But you don't want to know because that's not how I want to do things. And so you try to say that, that's how I wanted it, or that's because I like it like that. And I don't. That's not the way that I want it. That's not what I think is safe for. By the way, both of my sisters are twice my size, and they have 3 kids each or something. And it's like, no. um, no, you're not getting it. No. It's not about standards. It's because I like to fuss over them, because I care, because I want them to have nice things, because I always have. Um, so, anyways, it's not fair, you know. Um, I live on my own because it's easier for everyone that way. But, you know, love, relationships, being thoughtful or compassionate, that's not about doing the easy thing. So here's to 2026. Not quite sure what my motto or mantra resolution should be for this next year. For many reasons, it has to be concise. But I do feel a calling to, identify some plurality about it. And I don't know what that means, but this is not enough for me. So, is to looking at you, 2025.